St. Silas Primary School is in the process of radical change. Through this, it exemplifies some key characteristics of a slow school. Space and time for learning are flexible. The teacher assumes the role of, amongst others, facilitator. Learners are presented with open-ended challenges.
But it's hard. It is hard. And that's why I'm hoping with, certainly with the slow education movement, it would be nice to have a body of schools that can support each other.
So what are they doing here that's so different? And what does it look like in practice? Continuous and enhanced provision, already an established approach in the early years foundation stage, has been adopted throughout the school from reception through to year 6.
If the children in reception could be so independent in the learning at 5, why on earth couldn't they be at 10 or 11? So let's try what we're doing well in reception into year 1.
We saw an increase in year 1 results, so we extended it into year 2.
And we had the best Key Stage 1 SATs results that school had had for a very long time. So then we thought, why stop there? And it just snowballed.
Enhanced provision is when we try to go around the areas and do the challenges. Independently.
Classrooms are flexible spaces, divided into areas dedicated to different kinds of learning. Resources are always ready to hand, not stored away in cupboards. That's the continuous part. Topic-specific stimulus materials are provided. These are the enhancements and are changed regularly in response to learners' needs.
We've got frog spawn on a table, we've got eggs in incubators, we've got guinea pigs, we've got caterpillars in a jar, and the children are watching these changes happen. So therefore it's a real life experience that they are going to remember.
Additionally, the teacher sets a challenge in each area for the children to complete.
We're trying to use watercolours and make pictures. And one is wet when painted and one is dry, and see what different there is. It looks like that's more messier and that's more drier.
The challenges are progressive and become more often open-ended in nature as learners move up through the years.
Write a detailed account of an activity that you took part in during your 2 weeks holiday. There's no teacher saying that you have to do it differently, you can do it in the way you want to do it.
Crucially, children have the freedom to move from one area to another. The casual observer taking a snapshot view may see nothing immediately out of the ordinary. But this time-lapse footage reveals real purposefulness in the way that children naturally organise their own time, movement and learning.
When you look at children in a traditional lesson, several of them can be engaged or staring out of the window. When you follow them around in enhanced provision, they're all on task and they're all enjoying themselves.
It's up to each learner to manage the time needed to complete a challenge before moving on to another.
Say I'm doing writing challenge and tomorrow I want to do the writing challenge again. I have to do all the areas then come back to the writing challenge.
The result is that children have much more freedom and self-determination than would be the case in the traditional model and are able to take their learning where it leads them. And whilst on the one hand there's more movement and activity, there are also moments of real stillness as children fall to their challenges.
We're just going to go into our enhanced provision.
This approach also means that teachers responsively switch between an array of roles, from pedagogue to facilitator, from coach to critic. There is much less teacher talk and more table talk. Children spend less time being taught and more time learning.
When you're trying something new, you really need to feel confident enough to take a risk and know that nobody's going to blame you if it's gone wrong. And freeing up the planning, freeing up sort of timetable restrictions, all the sorts of things that leaders can actually make easier for teachers.
Slow education may not have been the initial goal here as such, but became a consequence of a commitment to creating the conditions necessary for children to take charge of their own learning. Commit to this enterprise and you also commit to structural change. This has been literally architecturally the case here.
We have had a fantastic opportunity by having a new school building to be able to design our classrooms for this way of learning. The design of the classroom helps, having space in the classroom helps.
But of course there's much more to it than the concrete environment. You don't need a new school to do this. The deeper changes are always going to be organisational and pedagogical.
Somebody walked into my classroom yesterday and said, this is how it should be. This feels right. You can see children learning. You can feel the excitement in the area. You can feel that it's fun.
This is my school, sit silent. It's the best school ever.
Time and movement in the classroom are organised around a core intuition. Given the right conditions, why wouldn't children take authentic ownership of their own learning? Is it really so shocking that this should turn out to be true?